With notes of traditional Celtic music on the air, visitors to Cape Breton Island in Nova Scotia are met by a 60-foot-high fiddle at the Port of Sydney. This is just one glimpse of the local culture, which includes a picturesque fishing industry, the Alexander Graham Bell Museum, the scenic Cabot Trail, and the historic Fortress of Louisbourg. To reach Harry Anderson's farm, one must travel along the Grand Narrows or Brador Lakes to Point Gillis in the beautiful anchorage of Maskell Harbor. There one will find Bouleseat and the lighthouse that marks its northern border. Bouleseat Farm is Harry's idea of paradise, a coastal version of the rural Adirondacks, where he spent memorable summers as a child. It is life in the raw, as he is fond of saying, and he savors every moment.
Well, that's got to be enough for a while. Well, have a look at the mule barn later. One of those prefab.
Harry enlisted Charlie Langston, a good friend and longtime sailing partner, to help him open up the farm for the season. This consisted of checking every system from water to electrical power, as the farm lays completely off the grid and must generate its own utilities.
Not feeling any pressure at all.
You notice the lighthouse, the vinyl panels have blown off in the winds, and the government's not maintaining them. But where do you see the backside? That's a terrible shape. All from the strong winds. One problem is when they put the vinyl panels in, they only attach them at the ends. They don't attach them in the middle. And then the wind pumps them. There used to be an outhouse over here. One winter it blew into the lake.
Harry and Charlie head down to the boathouse on the shore of Maskell Harbor.
Not much lobstering left. Biggest export product from Nova Scotia was lobsters, largely to Japan and then Europe. And then the Japanese had a recession and stopped buying them. And now the market's way down. We got a few boats in here. We had to move this entire boathouse. It was further over, and then they had a terrible storm. This is all flooded, and it started to float away.
The chore this morning is to begin setting moorings for the various boats and to secure the end of the launch ramp for the summer.
So let me take this down to the boat.
At 93 years of age, Harry still pulls his own weight, and then some. He insists on overseeing everything and jumps right into the task at hand. A behavior Charlie finds both amazing and amusing at times.
It was Harry who carried out the chain, put it in the dinghy and rowed out.
Make it?
Yep,
Okay.
looks good.
With one mooring in, Harry and Charlie set anchors for the boat ramp. Then the two men head up to the workshop, where the serious tinkering is done. If there's a repair needed anywhere on the farm, this is where it happens.
When we started, we couldn't find a hammer anywhere. They were all left by people who are not as responsible as Harry.
See, now we got 110 voltage from the generator to charge all these things.
These are seasoned hands that have worked with rope for nearly a century.
Okay.
The original livestock barn at Boulassit now serves as rustic living quarters for the farm's owners and guests.
There's no two dimensions are the same in this building. No two windows, no two anything. As you see, it was built from an old barn with all these cutouts. So the timbers come from an earlier barn. This place was full of farm equipment, all kinds of farm equipment, those harnesses, the wheel overhead, and whatnot. And up above us, it just had some rafters to hold the hay. Otherwise, it was all for livestock. So, as you can see, we converted it, kept the central cathedral, and built the balconies that contact both ends to the bedrooms. This table was built by the chap I bought my sloop from, Belgian. The top comes off, you can take it outdoors, but look at the trough underneath. The trough underneath is designed to hold a wine bottle for each person. That's his Belgian concept. And that's the Harvard colors. And then you'll see my Harvard friend also named the library Widener Library. Watch your head. So, office library.
A few years back, Harry also built what he affectionately calls the Manor House, to accommodate more people and provide warmer bedrooms for the spring and fall. He designed the Manor House on a simple 3D computer program and filled it with memorabilia and examples of his trademark innovations.
The windows all hook up to those chains you see. Now you see the tiller? Now that came off my boat, he was 38, and we were beating in the New York cruise, racing across Buzzards Bay in the nor'wester, and it snapped off. You see the thing in the corner there? That was a standard dinghy baler in the old days. Very rare to find those. And everything here is either propane or solar powered. Like the computer over there has an inverter, so you get 110.
Time on the farm is a constant stream of projects and repair. And if there is no job that needs doing, Harry will undoubtedly invent one. Finally, we break for lunch and a beer and a rare moment of inactivity. Preparing Boulassit for the summer season requires several days of effort by two people, and little time is wasted. Harry will take a very short midday nap before we drive about an hour to the popular harbor town of Badek to visit his longtime friend and fellow Yalie, Henry Fuller. Several decades Harry's junior and the complete political opposite, Henry moved to Canada in the late 60s to avoid the Vietnam War draft and has been there ever since. He owns the Cape Breton boatyard where Harry keeps several of his larger boats. Finding Henry takes some effort, but Harry navigates the labyrinth of boat sheds, storage rooms, and repair shops with complete assurance.
Henry? Well, his main office is upstairs. Have a look upstairs. Henry?
When Harry finally locates Henry, their familiar teasing repertoire of many years immediately ensues.
How do you pronounce Newfoundland?
Newfoundland. Newfoundland.
You're not supposed to accent any one of the three.
No, Newfoundland.
syllables.
Yeah, it depends.
So it's hard to say it deadpan.
Yes.
Newfoundland.
So.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go down and get that. I just want to give you that.
We're
so
going to
you
do a
have-
little more work on the boat, check out the electronics, and then we got to do some shopping.
Okay, good. All right. We'll have her together on Monday morning, so that's good.
This boat's designed for cod fishing, day fishing, pulling the nets, and it'll take about half a ton of cod. We just use this to go back and forth from the barn to the deck. It only takes about 15 minutes as against an hour to drive around. You don't see many boats named after a farm. You know, in Brazil, power boats are called female names and sailboats male names. You know why? The power boats make such a racket. Too much chatter.
You know what's for sale now? That was in the same boatyard this was in Maine, is Barn Swallow. Remember Barn Swallow?
Oh yeah,
Walter Page's
Walter
boat?
Page's boat.
Yeah, that's for sale.
She was built by
Paul Hammond was
Paul Hammond.
Paul Hammond built it, yeah.
and you know why she's called Barn Swallow. They built her in the barn, and they had to tear the whole front of the barn out to get the boat out.
Did they?
That's
Yeah.
why they call her Barn
I
Swallow.
thought you were going to say they were sitting in the barn swallow with shit all over it.
This belonged to the past Commodore of the Cruising Club of America, and Blunt White. He called her White Mist. The mizzen mast is not installed, but she's built in Nevins shipyard in fantastic condition. Gold.
But Harry and I in the boatyard bought this boat back in 1995, and it was in pretty good shape. It needed some tender living care, and we bought it and chartered it for a while. And I still have it. It's 20 years this fall since I bought it. Can you believe that?
We had Bill Buckley chartering it, and Henry's son went with him and reported that Bill went on the wrong sides of all the marks going into a harbor.
Yes, yes. We called over. That will be launched Monday morning. We'll put Elscoff Star expiring. Orders coming on Wednesday.
I noticed the paint.
Ever filled with curiosity, Harry checks out the huge winch Henry uses to pull mast for repairs.
Yeah, this one I painted. This is for the other boat I have in the building. This is Silver Linings. Concerned also.
He then settles in to hear Henry's latest rant. Their mutual love of sailing has bound the two old friends, superseding political bent and social philosophy. A common core of respect is evident.
Taking that into concern.
We leave Henry to his efforts and fire up Harry's 40-foot converted lobster boat, the Annie B, named after his great aunt.
We may have to push her a little bit clear.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Harry's slip is in the far back of the marina and requires deft maneuvering on the way out to avoid the dock and other boats. There is no one better at this than Harry. The quick spin around the harbor was the perfect afternoon activity and left everyone in high spirits. Our day ends with drinks and dinner at one of Harry's favorite eateries, whereas at most venues he knows the people around him and displays a genuine interest in their lives.
It's been 5 years, and you haven't come down to look at the boat.
It's almost 5. Are you still down at the arena?
Henry Fullers, yeah. So what are you up to these days?
Not too much really. I was around for the winter, sorry.
Oh,
I'm gonna go back to school in the fall
really?
for a year.
You gonna get a PhD?
Not quite.
Oh. The end of the day. My God.
The end of the day indeed, and one remarkably full of a rich zeal for life, from an amazing man 93 years young.